Hey everybody, it's Lynn from A Bit of Birdsong. It is this Wednesday afternoon. I have to stop and think about the days. We all have paper scraps. At least I think we do. I end up with a lot of offcuts from the manila folders because I use file folders sometimes to make journals. I use that as the base and then cover it with fabric. So I have a folder that's labeled tag making and I just put the pieces in. I went ahead and cut some down. Now you can take these to a paper cutter and cut them exactly if you want 3x5 or 4x6 or like 6x3, whatever. I just cut them like to try to salvage as much as I could from the offcuts. I want to show you the first little tag that I made, and it is so cute. I started to go through and try to distress all of these folders before I started working with them, and I thought, no, I'm not going to put all that time into it. For one, I want to get a lot of these made so that I have them on hand, and the other thing is that I may want this to be a journaling spot. So this can work two ways. You can just have tags that are fun to use like traditional tags are used on a birthday bag. Like this is a really cute children's book page. It could go as a tag to a birthday gift for a child. It's also fun just to put a little note on a tag for somebody. Or you could use it like a tag in a journal and stick it in a pocket. But then these can also be glued to a page. So if you want it to end up being a little tuck spot or a pocket. I cut a smaller piece of paper, and again, I didn't use the paper cutter. I'm trying to mass make these sort of quickly. I glued a piece of scrapbook paper that's so bright and beautiful across the front of this to be a little pocket. Now, I did sew mine, but you could glue these as well. You don't have to sew them. If you don't have a sewing machine or if you don't feel comfortable sewing, let me show you. I've got some really pretty scrapbook paper that is so bright. That's one of the bright ones. Now these are not as bright, and that's a different color palette, but I do like that we have little cards that we could cut out that would be immediately available to go in a little pocket. This is that beautiful bright piece that I thought was so beautiful with the children's book pages. So I just thought I would turn the camera on and talk to everybody while I'm putting these together and to show you how I'm doing these. These are some of the pieces that I've already cut down of the file folder. Once I cut that in the shape I wanted it, I just laid it on a book page and cut around it. So these are ready to just take right over to the sewing machine and stitch around the edge, or to glue this on and then glue a pocket on top. These book pages are so sweet. This book is Hoppity's First Thunderstorm. It is an older one. I want to say this was from the 80s, written by Jane Carruth and illustrated by Tony Hutchings. I love the illustrations. Now you have to be careful selling things that you've made with other people's illustrations. Sometimes things are old enough to be out of copyright. This wouldn't be out of copyright. But if I'm using them for my personal stuff, I think it's fine to alter something. You have to consider too that maybe the author or illustrator would consider this republishing in some sort of format. I've got a variety of book pages. I mainly am doing this not to reproduce the whole book and to read it to you aloud and show you all the illustrations, but to show you how I used some book pages to make crafts. And it's really important to give credit to the illustrators and the authors. Some of the books that I bought to do this with were pretty ratty. One, it looked like a dog had chewed could have been a child. Children chew on things too, but a whole entire corner was gone off of one of the front cover. Part of it was gone off the back cover, but the front cover was terrible. Some of these, the pages were written on, so it's not like a perfectly good whole book. And I specifically went in looking for books that I could repurpose and give new life to. A lot of times those books do not get sold. They end up in the trash can. Let me show you what I'm doing here. So those are made, or almost made. This one's complete. Got a little journaling spot on the back and a journaling spot here. Let's go ahead and do this one. I basically just looked for a piece of paper that I felt like was a good match for the illustration. This paper is just perfect. It's so perfect. I don't want the pocket to be too tall because I really wanted that adorable illustration of the moon to show, which is something to consider when you're cutting your pages out. Think about what part you want to have visible. And if you want to be more precise, you could use paper cutters to get exact measurements, like a guillotine cutter, or, you know, one of those Fiskars trimmers or whatever. So look at that. That is just so, so cute. Let me take this one to the sewing machine. You could probably use paper clips to hold everything together while you sew. I didn't do that. I was just really careful to hold everything together. Now that I'm back over here, I'm going to trim that paper off just a tiny bit. It's not perfect, and that's one of the things that I like about it. It's close enough. The little corners are not exactly even. The stitching is not perfect, but we have a really cute little pocket, and this will go with any kind of journal that I do that's eclectic. It'll be cute in my trashy journals, my daily junk journal that I do, my daily sort of diary, you know. And then if we wanted to come through here, and you know, look at your pocket, of course, to figure out what size piece of paper you need. Oh, see, that is so pretty. What are we going to lose on this side? That's the thing about these papers. You know, both sides are so gorgeous. It's hard to use it because you're going to lose something in a way. But maybe not. I do like this bird with the pocket. It kind of feels like, you know, morning and night. Like the moon out and then waking up with the bright bird. Well, let's go on up to the Think Positive. That gives us a little line to cut straight across. And then it only needs to be about this wide. And, you know, it's just a crooked piece of paper in a way until you say, okay, let's cut this corner, and punch a little hole there so you could tie a string through there, something really small that's not going to be too bulky for the pocket. And now we have two of these. That can be a tag that you write on the back, and then you have a journaling spot here, and you can put that in a pocket in your journal, or you could glue this down and you could journal here and here. Just gives you little places to journal or to add treasures. I'm still playing with these, and I wanted to show you a couple of things. This is another children's book I got, illustrated. Well, it just seems the whole thing is by Christopher Gunson, and more adorable illustrations. Absolutely, absolutely, totally adorable. I love the frogs. Let me show you these 2 pages. Would you just look at that? So this is Christopher Gunson. I want to use these in a journal. They're so sweet. And, you know, I've gone crazy over these fugglers. I've also gone crazy over frogs. Toads. I want to make a little frog garden this spring. I can't wait. I'm already collecting things for it. So, you know, we have this. Now, if you're like me, sometimes you wonder what to do with these little strips or whatever. At first I thought, when I looked at this metallic, oh, that's not going to go with like children's pages. But I pulled out the new purple paper pad that I have. And this particular pattern, it almost reminds me of like the, is it Monet? The garden things, the water lilies, and is it Impressionism? I can't think at the moment, but I had used some of this to make the little pocket. It just goes together so perfectly. And then this strip with the metallic, it says live in the moment. And I think that's what a lot of animals do. A lot of creatures just live in the moment. They just trust. They don't worry about what is coming next or how they're gonna do this or do that. So this sweet little frog sitting here. Now I will tell you, I just took this back to the sewing machine to go back and forth over that corner a little bit. I've been starting at the top corner with stitching, going around and catching both layers and the pocket. Then this was glued on, but I didn't stitch back and forth, and it really started to pull apart a little bit. Not bad. It would have been fine, but I thought, I'm going to go back and just stitch back and forth so that the whole thing is stitched. I wish I had done it to start with, but it's fine. We can fix little things like that. I have made several more of these adorable tags some of these, of course, I didn't put a hole in the actual tag part. I did on the journaling tag that slips into the pocket. I put one in this one though, just to show you. That one has a hole punched and also a grommet. And we've got a more subdued paper here with the little grid pattern, almost like a ledger type paper. And you can see it's turned up and down this way. Well, maybe that may be the way it goes. So that fits in there. We could embellish this if we wanted to. I put a piece of lace across the top of this one. That little adorable kitty cat. This one, oh, it's so cute. It's the mama rabbit with her little boy rabbit. And that's got rickrack across the edge. And then this paper. I love this. That would be a perfect journaling spot. So this is what we have so far that is complete. This is so sweet. So she's bringing out, it looks like cookies and something to drink. And then we have just a pretty tag. Can turn either way. Could go in there for a journaling spot. Oh, he's in bed with his teddy bear. And again, this could face either way. And another thing, if you want to make the tag tall so that you have a lot of journaling space, you can do that. Or you could make it shorter, like on this one. This little kitten is so cute. I wanted to be able to see the cat's face. So instead of a tall tag, I cut it down quite a bit so that you could see it would be more like this. You could see the little bunny over the top, but it's okay either way. So that one's ready. Let's get back to the little frog here because we need to cut a little journaling tag to go in here. You know, you could use more of just the plain stuff, but I like the decorated stuff better. That's cute. I'm going to go back to the purple paper pad. And again, I'm not using a paper cutter. I will say, if you were going to do this, I'm calling this mass making because I'm making a lot at one time just for myself. But if you were going to do some sort of show or whatever, it's probably going to be easier to use a cutting board and to measure everything so you can cut en masse and not just sort of pick and choose like I'm doing. Now, doing it this way is a lot of fun. This is what I chose to do. See, I'm not measuring the corners. Let's just punch a little hole there. And there, that tag is small enough to see the little froggy behind it. Oh, I'm just in love with these. And if we wanted to cut closer to the stitching there, we could do that. It's just, these are just so cute. And I love that it's not perfect. That's one of my favorite things about it. You could embellish these as much as you wanted to. You could put, glue some little flowers or put, you want it to fit in with the design. Or, you could go totally off the rails and be crazy like I do sometimes. But I do like to have everything feel cohesive in a project like that. I do want to make a lot more of these, but I thought I would just stop and show you what I have now, just for the purpose of getting the video done and getting it uploaded. You can do this in so many different styles. This is one that I glued down, and you can see how that wallpaper is hanging over just a little bit. I could trim that if I wanted to. I'm not going to do it right now because, well, and I may not do it at all. There's no need, but the point is you can trim things up. You can be as precise as you want to with this, or you can do like I did and just sort of freestyle or freehand cut these out to the shape you want. These corners don't match. This tag feels a little bit more sophisticated with the wallpaper and the coloring. We've got this trim here with this sort of metallic copper here and the metallic grommet, but I like this sort of eclectic and loose feeling to things like this. So this is what I've done so far. And again, you could embellish these as much as you want to. I did sew lace on some of them, like this one has it at the top. We've got lace down the side here. Here is the inside cover of a vintage book. It's actually been bent, but I went ahead and used it. It's so cute. And there's a fun journaling card in there. I didn't punch a hole in this. You don't have to, but I think it's cute to do that. And then it's optional whether or not you want to do it in the larger one, because you may decide you want to glue this into a book and have a place for writing or for a tag. And, you know, again, you can cut these little inserts whatever size you want them to be. And you can do any style of book page. I'm working mostly with children's books today, but you could use art books. Even if the pages are glossy, you know, you could end up with some really fun tags. So anyway, I love these. Matte is the best to me, though. I like the pages that are not glossy. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. I just wanted to share this mask making adventure for this week. I'm not sure what I'll do with all of these. Some of them may end up in fun packs. But I do want to have a large selection of these on hand to just use in my own journals and the journals that I'm making to sell. Thank you so much. I'll be back soon, and bye for now.